Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
I'm laughing already. I can't even do an intro. Oh man, sweet mother of all that is good and pure. I don't know what I watched last night in Phoenix. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all of your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. We are going to talk about the Indiana Fever and their performance in Phoenix, which I will be gentle, was a complete and total embarrassment. Now, luckily, they have a lot of Caitlin Clark fans who are still very much in the honeymoon phase with this team and wouldn't dare boo them. So they've got that going for them because this was a Philadelphia team and they laid this performance with this lack of effort against this team, with everything that went on with Alyssa Thomas multiple times and what she said about the Fever fans, with everything that happened with Dewana Bonner. That Philly team would not even be allowed to land at the Philadelphia International Airport. I'm just saying it's something to keep in mind as we try and drag the WNBA into normal professional sportsdom. Is that a word? Let me know in the comments below. It is now. But look, man, this was Sophie Cunningham, and that was it. The rest of the players should be absolutely, completely, and totally embarrassed with how they played. Sophie Cunningham was the only player that went on that court and played with fire, the only player who played with heart, the only player who seemed to want to do what it took to win this game. Now, to be fair, I will say, in general, I'm talking about the players that normally play a lot of minutes, that are the always in the rotation with this team. Okay, Chloe Bibby didn't play much. Timpson didn't play much, and it was mostly garbage time. So you can't really judge their effort, their heart in a situation where a game is already completely out of control. So I'm talking about those core 6 or 7. Colson didn't play, so we're basically talking about the starters. To be fair, um, you know, Kelsey Mitchell played 35 minutes. I mean, she played basically this whole game. She was absolutely awful. And here's the problem with Kelsey Mitchell, what I said, and I'll preface it again for those who will come at me. I've said repeatedly she's the best shooting guard in the league. However, that doesn't mean she doesn't have a ton of limitations, which is she has a tendency to ball hog. She has a tendency to chuck shots like Arike. And when she's not hitting her shot, as she didn't last night, 4 of 17, 1 for 6 from 3, she doesn't add anything else to the team. If she's not on offensively, if she's not getting open looks because of, say, what, I don't know, Caitlin Clark is doing, she can be a net negative for the team, even when she's scoring 20. When Caitlin Clark's scoring 15 or 20 but not shooting well, she still elevates the rest of the team. Kelsey Mitchell does not. Kelsey Mitchell didn't put in any effort last night. Natasha Howard didn't put in any effort last night. Aaliyah Boston she is as talented as she is as soft as anybody in this league. I've commented, I don't think it's out yet because the game got in the way, but I did a video where she made some comments about what she was saying about the Fever fans and the booing and stuff. But anyway, that's another story. But she just doesn't have that. She doesn't have that in her. Uh, I hate to bring up Angel Reese because of the way she said it. I just think it's kind of funny to talk about yourself that way, talking about having that dog in you. But Aaliyah Boston does not. Some players do, some players don't. Even very talented players don't. Players with less talent do, and they go a lot further. Aaliyah Boston does not have that in her. She needs to find that if it's there at all. If there's even a spark, she has got to find that because this team cannot continue to have Aaliyah Boston be this soft. Erin McDonald was terrible. I mean, she didn't look like a point guard at all. She doesn't facilitate an offense. She's not finding the open player. Kelsey Mitchell doesn't. And we've got a couple of guards who put their heads down and dribble around a lot. Whew. Now, hopefully they recover from this. They can. But look, I'm just looking at this game, and this game has so many bad warning signs. Y'all realize they scored 24 points in the second half? They came out, they were down, what, 6 at halftime? 11 at 6, sorry, 11 at halftime. I was going to say 36 is what they scored. And then Sophie Cunningham made some big threes. I think she had 9 of their 11 in the third quarter. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she got them within what Man, I didn't make a note, and now I'm losing it. But it was what, mid single digits, right? 4, 5, 6, 7 points, something like that. And then everything just completely fell apart. It was an absolute embarrassment. 95-60. 95-60. They scored 24 points in the second half. I was thinking of watching this too. For any of you who have gotten around to seeing it yet with the replacements, I won't really give much away. But at the end, they've got this one last big game that their team needs to win to make the playoffs, and the strike is over. Okay, but it's still it ended right before, so they're playing all the replacements. But the other team, basically all their players crossed, so they're playing the real team. And for Keanu Reeves' team, the quarterback came back. So that was it for Keanu. And he's back home and he's watching the game on TV, and his team looks terrible. The quarterback is an a-hole in any way. And Gene Hackman, the coach, those dumb halftime interviews, and he's walking off the field and he's being asked about the adjustments they need to make. And he just looks in the camera and he taps his heart with his playbook or whatever it is. And he talks about, we need heart, we need heart. And that's what got Keanu to the game. That is what this team needed, and they absolutely did not have last night. There was no digging deep. There was no fight. It was just and I get it. It's the end of a long road trip and all that, and teams have bad games. But that's why I'm focusing so much on the heart, because no matter whether you have dead legs or not, or you're exceedingly tired because it was a long road trip or whatever it is, you can still play with that fight. Sophie Cunningham was able to play with that fight. So don't tell me other players can't play with that. Don't tell me they can't have that fire, because I didn't see it. I didn't see any smart, especially a team like this, especially Phoenix. How can you go to Phoenix and play like this? It's absolutely mind-boggling that they could do this. Real quick, I thought this was interesting. This is a response to a tweet Ben made after the game. Sophie returns to Phoenix, and absolutely nobody decided to show up except for her. Nasty work. Stop it. Sid got hurt early, and that clearly affected the team. Oh my lord. Ah. Okay. I'm sorry. It's tough for me to deal with people that aren't really like I'm like. Anyway, I'm just hoping maybe Terry's 12. But I'm sorry, Terry out there. I don't mean to be mean, but that's just a wild response, right? And then we had Indiana Fever might lose tonight, but I'm proud of Aaliyah Boston. She's really fighting and holding her own out there. I don't know what game you watch. I don't know what game. I don't know what game you were watching. What are you watching? There we go. Boy, you sound goofy. She trash. Shut up. LOL. So people did respond. I'm sorry. Did we watch the same game? But yeah, there was some wild stuff going on, man. That game. But you had you had Sophie, who played fantastic, if this even allowed to see it. But that was about it. She was what, 5 of 8 from three, I believe. Um, Let me see if I have that right. 6 to 9, 5 of 8 from three, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 18 points. Here's the other thing that's absolutely wild. Two players had a plus minus of more than 18. Lexi Hull was minus 25. Lexi has serious, serious confidence problems right now that has to be fixed. Now, she's still battled as she always does, right? She still got 6 rebounds. She still played defense, but she was 0 for 8 from three, 1 of 11 from the field. We've known lately she's been passing up open threes as well. Minus 25. And the only other one over minus 18 was Kelsey Mitchell, minus 39. Minus 39. I know I've said it before. The plus minus isn't the biggest indicator because, are you going against the second team? Are you playing with bench? Like there are, but she played most of the game. She played 35 minutes. She played with everyone. She played with the starters a lot. And minus 39 is that's a pretty big number, folks. I'm just saying it's a pretty big number. But and here's one of the big things too that I will point out is this game was still a game at halftime. It was 47-36. They got absolutely obliterated obliterated in the third quarter, 26-11. You know what halftime's about? Halftime is about the coach and adjustments and having the team ready to come out hard in the third quarter and make a statement. Phoenix did that. The Indiana Fever did not. So this is a whole combination of problems. You've got the players who played with no heart. So look, coaches can only do so much in terms of getting players fired up. Yeah, it is kind of part of their job, and you can have epic speeches and all that, but ultimately that has to come from the players. So I'm not going to totally throw Stephanie White on the bus, under the bus on that. Coaches can try certain things, they can do certain things, kind of like in bringing a team together that we all, even though we all mocked it last year with Christy Sides and her team bonding games during the Olympic break. But those are the type of things coaches can do. Obviously, you can't be doing that at just that in your short halftime, but you know the point I'm making. They can influence that sort of stuff. But ultimately, whether a player plays with heart and fire and desire comes from the player. But that there were no adjustments at halftime. I didn't see anything coming out in that game that told me Stephanie White went into that locker room, thought about that first half, made some adjustments that were going to give this team a better chance to win, put these players in a better position to win, and maybe have a few choice words that got them fired up. But here's the problem. Here's the problem, folks. You know what you want to get them fired up about? Alyssa Thomas and her nonsense. You know what you want to get them fired up about? Kalia Copper and her nonsense and what she said. You know what you want to get them fired up about? Dewana Bonner and everything that she did. The problem is Stephanie White likes them. The problem is I haven't heard a word from Stephanie White criticizing what Dewana Bonner did. Not a freaking word. She probably knew before Dewana Bonner even got to Indiana that this was happening. So how as a coach are you going to be the one that gets this team fired up at halftime when the stuff you should be getting them fired up about is stuff you approve of? And you certainly are not an X's and O's coach. I don't know where that ever came from. I still don't get it. And I said this from day one. Stephanie White might be a decent WNBA coach, but she's never shown that she can be a good coach. She's never shown it. She inherited a good team in Indiana and left quickly. She inherited a good team in Connecticut and left quickly. She spent a lot of time at Vanderbilt and was an absolute and total failure. I mean, like big time failure. Absolutely terrible teams year in and year out. All the players wanted to leave. No one wanted to play for Stephanie White. That's a problem, folks. That's the WNBA recycling. And to be fair, that's a problem with a lot of leagues in general. It's just that they have more overall. You know, you see that in the NFL, Major League Baseball, coaches, managers, they get fired all the time and then they get rehired. But that's another story for another day. But this was not a good sign. Well, we definitely had some Fever fans who are coming from other sports or they're getting into it because we had stuff like this. Fever need a sponsor. Charmin won't find anything softer. The quitter and wife punked the crap out of everyone, but SC, and they just take it and smile. What in the church revival is that? Have some pride. Leave nice at the door. WTF, whole team soft. I think I had a couple others that were pretty good, just to let you know that some people, but this was there's how about that? Hold on. I want to back that up just a second. I can't do this whole thing 38 seconds, they'll claim it, but I want to show, check out where Soph shoots this from. And this is where they started getting back in the game right here. But look where Soph is, man. Look where Soph is shooting that from, boy. She is from, dare we say, logo? There's no logo on this court, but she's out there. That's a big time three from Sophie Cunningham. And then I think she had some words with Kalia Copper right here. They're banging. Yeah, Kalia the clown. Oh, now tell me that. And I don't think they call that a foul, and they might have looked for more, but this is what I mean. These players have no emotional control whatsoever. That's what makes it a problem also when you allow the physicality, because no emotional control. But I mean, look at this, because boom, like that is boom, you're done. Like for me, that's it right there. Ref, boom, you go sit your butt down. I'm throwing a flagrant at you just because you got to keep the game under control, and you have this type of stuff happen way too often. Now, look, okay, I'm exaggerating a little. I'm putting this in the context of the WNBA and who these players are. If that's the NBA, I'm just like, that's just a foul and we move on. But and Sophie did have a nice shiner under her eye as well, so there was that. But here's where here's where you want to fix this stuff. And I know sometimes you gotta control it because you don't want to hurt the team. But they weren't winning this game, man. After a few games ago, and then after the stuff Kalea Copper said about the fans being distasteful because they booed Dewana Bonner, Sophie Cunningham should have snatched that dumb wig right off her head right then and there and just tossed it. Is that wrong of me? I'm telling you, sometimes you got to do these things. Yeah, and here's the W360. Shout out to CJ. The Indiana squad, so damn soft, man. They're scared to match Phoenix energy. Alyssa Thomas, sorry, out there talking crap, and they scared to talk crap back, other than, of course, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, I don't even have highlights to show you other than Sophie making a couple of threes, but take note. I don't know when Caitlin Clark is coming back. I don't know how long they're going to take her to get her back up to speed and then integrating her into the team and all that, because folks, if we take a look at this, just understand. And I think overall, look, we're getting into where the Indiana has a tougher schedule than they have had, because don't look, I'm not going to knock win streaks, but I think we all know there were some bad teams in that win streak, and then there were one or two good teams that played terrible basketball. The big win in there was Phoenix, and we see what the turnaround did. But here's the issue, and just to give you an idea, Indiana is sitting at number 5, 17 and 14. Seattle Storm and Las Vegas Aces, both 16 and 14. They play each other tonight. One of them is going to be 17 and 14. Okay. Now, I think the Fever I know they have the tiebreaker against Seattle. I think they have it against the Aces, but I'm not sure. But either way, they're going to be tied with one of those teams record wise, still only a game ahead of the other. But here's the other thing you need to look at: there are 10 teams vying for those spots. 10 teams legit, right? You have the Sparks and the Valkyries now tied at that 8 spot. It looks like they have the Valkyries as the tiebreaker advantage right now because they have them ahead, but they're tied record wise. And the Mystics are only a game behind. The Mystics are only 3 games behind the Fever. The Sparks and Valkyries are only 2 games behind the Fever. And one of those teams would not make the playoffs, okay? Because that's 9. Because you got 2 teams vying for that last spot, and they're both only 2 games behind number 5 Indiana. Y'all, I know this sounds crazy, but the Fever are by no means guaranteed, as much as you can when the season's not over, a playoff spot, because they're sitting pretty at number 5, and still they're only 2.5 games behind number 4. But the WNBA right now is so bunched with 10 teams vying for the 8 spots, other than the Lynx up top, that the Fever could very well end up out of the playoffs if they have a bad stretch. It's not going to take much. They only have 13 games left. I don't know when Caitlin Clark's coming back, but I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate y'all checking this out. I'm really curious what everyone thinks about this game in the comments below. Let me know. Ed, let it all out. Look, I hate the safe space. This is kind of tongue in cheek, but the comment section here is a safe space for everyone. It's okay here. It's okay here to lose it. It's okay here to be an over-the-top fan fanatic and talk about the sky falling, not the team. We already know they fell, but just for the Indiana Fever. It's cool. Let it out. Have some fun and enjoy that about being a fan. It's okay to crash out over a game and then be talking championship when they go out and they win their next game by 20. It's cool. It's fun. You can do it. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.